Hey guys, this is CA Sagar Kasat. Welcome you all to the very first session of your CA Intermediate Auditing and Assurance. So guys, what we are gonna do in this particular session, sir, we are gonna do a very important part of the entire syllabus. That is what? To understand what is exactly there in this entire subject. Okay, so very first session is dedicated for 2-3 major things. Very first, I'll have to introduce you all to myself, है ना? Absolutely, yes sir. Then second thing, we'll understand what is exactly covered in this particular subject. And the third very important thing, why students actually have fear about this particular subject. Why students think that nobody can score huge marks and very good marks in this particular subject. What is the trick behind this particular subject? What is the reason why students have this mindset? Lot of things we are going to discuss in this particular session. So you have a quick foundation ready in order to study this particular subject in a best possible way, to achieve the best possible score in the examination and to grab the best possible knowledge, which is practical knowledge in the practical life, which you will be able to use. Okay guys, so many of you might be thinking about, sir, we will be working in Big Four in future, and that is where, sir, we should have understanding, at least base ready, that this is what we have learnt in class and exactly this is what you'll be feeling, because whatever we are going to cover in this entire batch of your entire subject of auditing and assurance, that will be completely based on practical subject. So very first myth I want to actually tackle about before going ahead with my introduction only, that this subject is 100% practical subject. People talk that this is the theory subject. Everybody will say that, sir, this is the theory subject, you won't be able to score huge marks in this. Absolutely, there will be little difficulty to score the marks in this particular subject, but it is not impossible. Are you guys getting? There will be difficulty as compared to the other subjects, practical subjects, and I'll tell you the reason behind that. But this is the complete practical subject which is used in the practical life. If you ask any of your friend who is working in the Big Four organization or any other means bigger size CA firm, definitely you will understand that they use this particularly everything what you learn in your intermediate, in your final, in the practical life. Every principle. Are you guys getting? So that's why it is very important thing to understand this particular subject entirely, very appropriately, practically, and then along with that you have to prepare from the examination perspective. So because absolutely I can understand that you have to score the exam marks, and that is what must be your criteria, priority, but not should be the only priority. That is what I want to let you know all. Okay guys, so your priority should be twice. First, practical knowledge, complete conceptual understanding, and the second very important thing, to score maximum possible in this particular subject in examination. Okay, along with these two things, we'll entirely develop this particular subject in such a way that you will be very much confident and you will be able to tell all of your friends who always used to tell that this is the theory subject and this is very difficult to score. You will be definitely confident to tell them all that this is the most practical subject, and the second thing, this is easy to score as well. Just we need to work hard and smart, not just hard work. Along with hard work, you have to do smart work as well. I'll tell you entirely during the course duration how to move ahead with respective chapter, with respective concept, from examination perspective, from every possible perspective. Okay guys, I hope you guys are very much clear with this. Okay, so let's start with this particular session. I just need to introduce all of you, since I'm not the so-called established faculty, right, in your way, definitely. So that's why you might not be aware about myself. So this is what all about me. I don't think I should be able to read out all these things, because you can just pause the screen and read it out. Only the thing I will tell you all, that I am the qualified chartered accountant. I have worked in Deloitte in auditing and assurance function, and along with that during my articleship also, I could work with the Big Four organization, and majorly chunk of my 3 years articleship was auditing and assurance only. And that's why I could work for a lot of MNCs, lot of big clients, and during that particular learning phase of Deloitte as well as articleship, I could learn a lot of things for different industries, for different various big size clients as well. And that's why I can definitely let you know all that practical experiences through the examples while learning all the concepts of your auditing entire subject. Okay, and that will be too easily. Okay, so whenever I'll be giving you example, you will just correlate that with your practical life, or just a little knowledge of what business mind. Okay, and all of you will definitely understand that in the best possible way. This is what I can definitely assure you. Okay guys, clear with this? So guys, I'll quickly move to now the next part of this particular session. That is what is this all subject about? Okay, so what you will be having basically in this entire subject, guys, you will be having around 13 chapters. What I'm saying, around 13 chapters. In notes, we have included the 14th as well. That includes standards on auditing. I'll tell you what are the standards and certain miscellaneous concepts. Okay, so I'll tell you what are those standards and what is exactly this all subject. Okay, so just be patient. Okay, just do not just judge based upon this initial 10-15 minutes or 20 minutes to the entire subject as well as to this faculty. Okay, so just watch at least initially 5 to 6 lecture, 4 to 5 lectures. 5 lectures will be definitely, first 5 lectures will be available on YouTube free of cost. So you can just watch entire 5 sessions and then judge, then decide whether you want to join or not. Okay guys, clear with this? But I am very much sure that by the end of this session, you will be very much confident to a certain extent definitely about this subject and about this faculty as well. Okay guys, clear with this? So I'll just quickly give you the overview of this entire subject. So what is exactly included in all these 13 chapters? According to our notes, 14 chapters. Okay, and how to move ahead, how we will be going ahead with this respective subject in our entire classes. Okay, so very first chapter is what all about nature, objective and scope of audit. Next, it is audit strategy, audit planning and audit program. You won't understand a single thing from these 2 chapter names. Absolutely, because you don't know what is audit is. Okay, so now just to understand this overview, I'll just let you know in very layman language what is audit. In a layman language, in a simple, most simplest form. Okay, in a layman language, audit is nothing but the examination. Okay, examination of what? Examination of what? Of entities' financial information. What is financial, you understand? So financial means whatever the transactions will be there. So financial statements, okay, financial information of which is comprised through the financial statements. And you must understand what are the financial statement, balance sheet, P&L, cash flow. So what are other beta, do you know notes to accounts are included in the financial statements? Yes. So balance sheet, P&L, cash flow, notes to accounts, and along with that, if you are just aware about the Ind AS. Okay, so there are 2 financial reporting framework in India. Yes, there are 2 framework. One, accounting standards AS, and second, which is very new for all of these except certain organization. Now it is really established in the Indian economy, that is Ind AS, Indian Accounting Standard. Okay, so accounting standard and Indian accounting standard. Okay, so now according to these accounting standards, whatever the financial information will be presented through the financial statements, which includes balance sheet, P&L, cash flow, after that notes to accounts, and according to Ind AS, that is second new form of the financial reporting, which will include one additional statement, that is statement of changes in equity. Okay, statement of changes in equity. What is that statement of changes in equity? We'll simply call it as SOCI. What is that? SOCI. statement of changes in equity, SOCE. Okay, don't worry at all. I'll explain you this entire things slowly. Okay, during the entire curriculum, we'll start off actual part of your syllabus from the next lecture. This lecture is just for introduction. Whatever I'll tell you in this particular lecture about the audit, about these concepts, everything we will cover again from the next lecture in a deeper manner. Okay, so just don't worry about this. Okay, just to try to understand whatever we are going to discuss right now, whatever at whatever level you can understand. Okay guys, so this is what statement of changes in equity, which is very much limited to only Ind AS. What are those? Ind AS, and these are not there in accounting standards. Yes guys, clear with this? So now what is importance of this? What I want to tell all of you is whatever the financial statements the company or the entity or the business organization, whatever you want to tell, so will be preparing, that the financial statements whether are correct or not, this is what examination of this particular thing, financial statements, examination of these financial statements with the objective, why to carry out the examination. So we just want to understand whether these financial statements have been prepared correctly or not, whether they comply with these accounting standards and Indian accounting standards or not, right? And that is what the examination will be carried out by one independent person. Please understand, who is the independent? Independent means who do not have any relationship with that organization for which he is carrying out the examination. You understood the two most important things guys of this entire syllabus, that is one, what is audit, and second, what is the independence requirement. Okay, very first, what is audit? It is nothing but, in very layman language, examination of the financial information carried out through the financial statement, presented through the financial statements by the business organization or entity. Who will carry out this examination? By any independent person. That is known as what? Your audit. Okay, and the person who will carry out this examination, the person who will perform this examination, that person will be known as auditor. Auditor. Okay guys, clear with this? So what is audit? Audit is sir just examination of financial statement. Who will carry out, sir? An independent person who do not have any relationship with that entity. Okay, that is the person who is known as what? Auditor. That person will carry out this examination, that person will perform this audit. So the person who is performing this audit, that is known as what? Your auditor. Are you guys clear with these two things? Okay, so now in very first chapter, what we will understand, sir? We'll understand the very basic of this audit. What is the nature of audit? What is actually audit is all about? What are the objectives of audit, sir? We understood that audit is nothing but the examination of financial statements. But why to carry the examination? Why one need to perform the examination over the another's financial statement? Why that person need to be independent? What is actually relevance of this audit? What are the benefits of this audit? Even for the company, even for other person. Are you guys getting? What are the disadvantages, sir? Why audit is required to be performed? Why not required to be why cannot be avoided? Who is required to be done, basically perform the audit? Who is actually required to get its financial statement audited mandatorily? For whom it is mandatorily, for whom it is voluntary? Every damn thing, such basic thing, that is what we will learn in this very first chapter. What is the nature, objective and scope of audit? Means nature means what is this all audit about? Objective means why to carry out this audit, and the third thing, sir, scope means what is exactly covered in audit. So we know that is examination of financial statement, but what that examination will carry out? I go to perform the examination for one entity. I go to their office and understand what I need to perform over there. What is actually covered in that audit? That is what your scope of audit. All these things we will learn in this particular very first chapter, that is nature, objective and scope of audit. Okay, So sir, once we understand that what is the nature, objective and scope of that audit, then we will have to start performing the audit, right? Then we'll have to start now. So we have accepted to perform the audit. Okay, now we'll have to start to perform the audit, examination of financial statements of any entity, okay, for which we are performing that examination. So sir, we will need to plan out something now. Now whenever guys you came to CA intermediate, okay, you passed your foundation entrance level, now you are there in intermediate. Sir, in foundation there were only 4 subjects, sir. Now in intermediate there are huge 8 subjects, sir, and that every subject is equal to the 2 or 3 or 4 subjects of foundation, sir. Every subject is equal to the entire syllabus of foundation, almost majority. So sir, how to study? Now we are having the understanding how to study the foundation level. Now immediately after the examination result, we are having that much understanding. We don't have that much understanding that how to plan this entire subject, how to study, and all these subject we have to learn in 12 months, sir. We learned the foundation in 3, 4, 6 months, whatever. But how to learn 8 subjects, and each one is exactly almost similar to or in length to your foundation subjects of all together. So sir, how to actually carry out this? I'll tell everybody, right, that you need to plan out it, right? So you'll make a study plan for 12 months, sir. In 12 months, for first 3 months, I'll actually take the coaching of first group. Then next 3 months, I'll take the coaching of second group. Now the remaining 5, 6 months, sir, I'll actually do the self study. Very good. Or sir, it can be different for you. 4 months, and then it will be 4 months. Okay. So whatever it is, we have actually thought about so how we have to actually tackle out this 12 months, how we have to actually perform study in during this particular 12 months. We have that in our mind. Okay guys, do you have that on the paper? Yes sir. Somebody will say me, yes sir, I have it on my paper. Actually sir, I have the detailed planning. I just don't have in my mind that 4 months. Oh sir, I don't have that just in my mind. I have the breakup of that 4 months as well. On in how many days I have to complete which subject. I have every that breakup with me. I have done that very thoroughly on my notebook, in my notebook. Okay, on the paper. So basically, what I want to say, very firstly, what you have thought to understand, sir, we have to just find out the direction of that 12 months. Are you guys getting? Direction of 12 months. Direction of 12 months means how we will be moving ahead. This is what your direction. 4 months, or 3 months, 5, 6 months. So this is what the direction, scope, approximately overall approach, overall view. Sir, around 3 months, 5, 6 months, 4 months. This is around the time which I'll be taking for my this. But now somebody who has actually gone beyond this by breaking up these 3 months, these 5, 6 months, and make it more detailed. Okay. And that is how he planned. So sir, now very first activity, what you had done, just to take an overall view, sir, how much time I will be getting, how I will be actually moving ahead, and based on that you plan that, sir, I'll be taking around this much time. Somebody will say 3 months, 4 months, like this. Okay, this is what your overall view, nothing but your strategy. Okay, this is your strategy, overall view, not a detailed one, but overall view, sir. But now, sir, the second very important thing was how we break up these 3 months or 4 months, every part of that strategy. Are you guys getting? And that's why you make a detailed strategy, and that detailed part of strategy is known as your planning. Okay, are you guys getting? Tell me please. So very first overall view, sir, strategy. We broke up that strategy into different part in a detailed way. That made up our planning. And now, sir, we have a planning. So let's say you have to complete your accounting subject in, sir, let's say 25, I can't say 25 days, or let's say 50 days. Coaching plus self-study along with coaching, homework, including all that things. So you have to complete your audit, let's say in, sir, 55 days approximately, whatever, yeah, whatever. So now I should have the detailed understanding, sir, of this 50 days and 55 days. So every day what I am gonna do, that I should have my plan. And for every day, how much time I'll be studying accounts, how much time I'll be studying audit, that I should have. And now, sir, again a detailed part of this. On daily basis, I am making my plan. I am tracking that on weekly basis, periodic basis. I am tracking that, right? I need to track. If you're not doing, you have to do this. And after doing all these things, only you will be able to get the maximum marks in all the subjects, and you'll be able to score rank actually. Are you guys getting? So this is very important thing. You just don't have to make a plan. You have to track it. You have to check it out whether you are able to follow that or not on periodic basis. Not after 2 months or 3 months, guys. You have to make that track on weekly basis probably. Are you guys getting? Yes. And on weekly basis, you come to know that, sir, out of these 100 things I supposed to do, I supposed to have done, but I could do only, let's say, 85 things. Now, how to manage these remaining 15 things in the next plan where we have already next 100 things? That is what you need to revision of your planning. Are you guys getting? And now what I'm saying is, when you actually go beyond your planning to make it more and more and more detailed, that is what in auditing language we call it as program. What we are going to do now, I am relating all these things to your audit. Once, sir, I have to perform the audit of any entity. Now for that audit, what should be my view? How much time I have? What is my entire, basically what I need to do on overall view level, not the detailed one, overall view level, sir, overall approach. Okay, how much time I have and how I'll be moving ahead. Okay, that is what your audit strategy. Now you make a detailed version of your audit strategy by identifying actually what things I need to do. Are you getting? Firstly, I identified what is my scope of audit. That what we have learnt in our chapter number 1. Okay, obviously we have not yet started, but I have just given you the overview, na? So what will be covered in your chapter 1 scope of audit, that we will be actually keeping in our mind at this level. Then we will understand, sir, how much time I'll be taking around to perform this examination activity. So how much time I'll require, the timing that I'll take, and then how I will be moving ahead, sir. Exactly how I should carry out this, in what direction actually I should follow different steps. That is what, sir, direction. And all these 3 things will be involved in your audit strategy. Okay, you can just understand these 3 things by STD. Okay, this is what your trick to understand certain terminologies. STD. Okay, very important. Scope, timing and direction. Now, sir, we just have to move ahead, go beyond this scope, timing and direction by actually understanding and planning in a detailed way what can be the procedures I need to follow, nature, what are the nature of procedure, what kind of procedure. Then, sir, when I need to perform that procedure, when, sir, I have performed this timing, but this timing is of entire audit, sir, overall view, not the entire detailed level view. Are you guys getting? I am saying, sir, I'll complete the audit in 3 months. Now, how much you will take time for every activity in these 3 months? I need to break up these 3 months, right? Are you guys getting? And this breakup will be included in your planning. Okay, so nature, timing, and how much I have to perform, sir, that is what your extent. Nature, timing and extent of what you will be performing, procedures. Okay, are you guys getting? So sir, very first way, I just took up the overall view. Then sir, I broke up that overall view into detailed part of my planning, where I actually understood what kind of audit procedure I need to perform, sir, what kind of examination procedure I need to perform, when I need to perform that. So during these 3 months, on first day, what I need to perform, on second day, on third day, on fourth day, fifth day. Okay, so detailed way of planning. So okay, not the daily basis, but approximately, sir, how many days. So first 7-8 days, first 10 days, then next 15 days, then next 15 days, this way. Okay, and now sir, how much I need to perform, because there will be no extent of examination. You can carry out lot of things for performing examination. So you can carry out any number of things, but sir, you just have 3 months. Now in these 3 months, how much I should be able to perform? Okay, and beyond this, if I go ahead, whatever I have planned, actually first 15 days, next 15 days, now I just have to detailed breakup of that for different areas of financial statements. So let's say for P&L revenue, for income, revenue, income, how much time I'll be doing, what are the things I'll be actually checking about for the revenue, how I'll carry out the examination of revenue, how I will carry out the examination of purchase, how I will carry out the examination of balance sheet item, inventory, let's say, how I will carry out the examination of cash item. Okay, every damn thing of your financial statement, you will be actually breaking up your planning further in according to this. Okay, so how much time you will be taking, what are the things you will be doing for revenue, for purchase, for inventory, for cash. So now you are breaking up that 15 days ka plan of 15 days into this way. So revenue, which are the things I need to do, cash, how many, inventory, how much. Are you guys getting? So this is what you will be entirely documenting. You will be writing down, you will be noting down in a particular your paper, on a paper, and that is what you will call it as audit program. Okay, so what is audit strategy, planning and program? You understood, guys, at a basic level. We'll again cover this entire part in your chapter 2. Don't worry about it. Okay, this is what you will learn in your chapter number 2. Okay, next, sir, now we know what is our strategy, planning and program. Sir, we will need to note down all these things, because we know na, sir, this is a huge activity of 3 months. We might forget what we have done before 10 days. So sir, we need to note it down on daily basis what we are doing. And that is what noting down activity is known as documentation. Note down what you are doing. Note down what you actually got after doing that particular activity. What was the result of that activity? What was the output of that activity? You note it down. Okay, and that is what you will call as the documentation. Now sir, since you are performing the examination, okay, you need to prove it. So let's say you arrive at some conclusion. Okay, you arrive at some conclusion, you arrive at some, let's say, output. You should have certain evidences to prove that this is what you are saying, so this is correct, sir. Okay, on what basis? That basis, that proof, that evidence you should be having. Okay, and that's why you will carry out the evidences as well. And what should be that evidence? How you will carry out that evidence? How will actually grab that evidences? How you should be able to actually take a basis of that evidence? Are you guys getting? That is very important thing. And that is what all things we'll learn in this chapter number 3, which is one of the most important chapter for your examination, since this will include lot of things. Okay, now after this, sir, there would be definitely a lot of risk involved in the business, right? When we are carrying out examination, there will be definitely a lot of risk in the business, that this may not occur properly. One employee might not actually perform his activity properly, or some employees might actually do some theft activity. Okay, there might be the scenarios or circumstances of the petty cash theft, everything, fraud, every damn business risk. So sir, we should understand that risk while actually examining the books of accounts, financial statements of the entity. We should understand what are the risks involved in this business. Okay, are you guys getting? And what can be the types of that risk? So sir, there might be definitely a huge amount of risk. There will be huge number of risk involved in the business, which are very important risk for me, which I might ignore from my examination activity, which is not at all related for me to perform the examination activity. But there might be definitely certain risk of businesses which are very much relevant to my examination activity. So consider certain risk, do not consider certain risk. That is what beta you will be performing in your chapter number 4. You will understand that, and for that particular things, how actually business tackling that risk. Okay, so let's say very important thing, example. Okay guys, we'll just build up the entire syllabus now, so don't lose your concentration. Okay, what I'm saying, let's say I have my own business. Okay guys, so let's say this is GuideLearn Limited. Okay, so now what I'm saying, in this GuideLearn Limited, this is the edutech business. Okay, I should not call it as a business. Actually, education is not a business, but since, okay, just as a nomenclature which is generally used is the business, and just for clarity of thoughts, I'll be using this word. Okay guys, so what I'm saying is, now let's understand, somebody wants to examine my financial statements. Okay, who is that person? Please tell me guys, quickly tell me. This is auditor, right? So he'll be examining the financial statements of my GuideLearn Limited. Okay, now once he examined the financial statements of my company, he understood that there are a lot of risk involved, sir. Whatever the fees I collect from students, that is my revenue. Okay, so now there might be some probability that when I record this revenue in my books of accounts, I should record, let's say 2,500, let's say, is the fees of any one course. Okay, so let's say this 2,500 I recorded inaccurately, and I recorded only 2,000 rupees, or I recorded inaccurately, I recorded 3,000 rupees. So sir, if I record this inaccurately, this will lead to inaccuracy in my financial statements. If I record by 2,000, my financial statements, P&L statement will include revenue of 2,000 instead of 2,500, right? And now when I will be actually using my P&L statement, I'll make a decision that how much revenue I made. So I'll take this, let's say 2,000 ka number. Oh, only 2,000. Are you guys getting? This is the only transaction I am, let's say, saying. Okay, the only transaction in entire financial year. Okay, I'm just joking. Okay, so what I want to say is, based upon this 2,000 number, instead of 2,500, I might end up taking the incorrect decision or inaccurate decision, which I should not supposed to take. Are you guys getting? Yes or no? So sir, for my decision making, it is very important that I should take care of this particular thing, that this risk of inaccuracy. What is that risk, guys? This risk is about the inaccuracy of what? Accounting information, right? Inaccuracy of accounting information in my books of accounts. Are you guys getting? Inaccuracy. So sir, this risk should not arise. So what I have done, there was one employee who is recording this all revenue transaction in my company. Now I have appointed another person who actually check the activity what this first person has performed. So this first person recorded this 2,000 rupees inaccurately, and the invoice amount was 2,500. Now this second person will check the activity performed by this first person, whether this first person recorded this correctly or not. So once this first person record that in the accounting information system which I have, so that second person will check it out whether that recording is correct or not, and he'll come to know that this first person has recorded inaccurately, then he will rectify that error. You must have understood and learned this particular concept of rectification of error, right, in your foundation. So he will now rectify that error in books of accounts. Are you guys getting? So the risk which was arised about the inaccuracy was tackled by appointment of the second person and review of the second person. Review, right? Review, checking by the second person of the activity which was performed by the first person. And this review, checking by second person is known as the control. Means how they are controlling the risk in the business. Are you guys getting? Yes or no, guys? Tell me. And this is how we will learn in this particular fourth chapter. What are the risks are there? What are the controls? How to actually understand that? What is the relevance of this entire thing? I'm saying you very layman language. Please understand. These all things are very detailed. We'll break up everything what we are learning in a detailed way in this entire batch. Yes or no? This is what you will learn in fourth chapter. Now, fifth chapter, sir, there can be a lot of fraud. We just discussed now, there can be fraud in the business. So, how to tackle this fraud situation? How to examine in such situation? How to identify if the fraud has occurred or not? And what are our responsibilities as an auditor, as an examiner? Okay. So, that is what we will learn in this fifth chapter. Sixth chapter, we will learn, sir, this is the environment where we are performing the examination. This is completely automated, sir. Earlier, we used to have one ledger. So, if anybody of you, let's say, is from the business background, that person, you will understand very appropriately this particular whatever I am going to tell you right now. If you are from the business background in your family business, so you must have seen certain ledger book or khatauni we call it. Okay, ledger book of red color. On every Diwali Pujan, we actually do the we actually include that particular ledgers, our books of businesses, right? In the puja. Are you guys getting? Yes. So that is what your ledger. So now, what the people used to do in recent times, or recent times, in earlier old times, basically. Right now, small shopkeepers actually usually maintain right now this as well, but the bigger businessman for whom actually this examination has to be performed, usually you will not see that. And now you will see the computers where the accounting is performed. Yes, Tally, through the Tally software or through any other software, let's say SAP. Okay, these are the softwares which are used. So now, sir, majority of the business has moved from this ledger, which is hard copy of the book, hard book, to the computer system. So now, sir, if I perform the audit of such business who is maintaining these hard books, then it might be easy for me, or it might be difficult to certain extent for me, because there will be definitely a lot of books if the business is huge. But sir, if now it is computer, there would be different kind of risks are involved. If the computer backup is not taken, sir, oh, what happens, sir? That is the huge risk. If the backup is not taken, so let's say all the files got lost. Oh, sir, what shall happen? So now we have to understand, guys, in what such situation, how to perform the audit. If the businesses are moving from ledger to computerized environment, automated environment, lot of things will be automated now. Earlier, the people used to perform this activity, one activity by two people within 10 days. But now the same activity has been actually automated by one algorithm or by one program function software, and that software is carrying out the same activity in just one click. And only one person is involved to carry out that activity. Oh, sir, huge cost was involved over there when it was ledger. Earlier scenario, but now that has reduced. But sir, there might be different risk involved here. So how to perform the audit in such environment? That is again very important thing, and that is what we will learn in your chapter number 6. Are you guys getting? Yes. Then sir, will not be examined. Let's tell me guys. Reliance. Okay. Mukesh bhai, Mota bhai, whatever name you want to call him. Okay. So Reliance Industries is a huge company, right? Huge company. They'll be having the, let's say, number of transactions will be in crores. So let's say they have 1 crore transactions. Please tell me, you have been appointed now by them. You have a very big opportunity now to examine the transactions, 1 crore transactions of Reliance Industries. Oh sir. And if I tell you, beta, you just have 4 months to examine these transactions. Even if you work day and night during these 4 months, still you won't be able to examine these much transactions, 1 crore transactions. Absolutely possible? Possible hai kya? No, not possible sir. It is not at all possible to. So sir, how to perform in such way? How can we check out 1 crore transaction, sir? You are saying very lower amount. In actual practical life, Reliance Industries would be having much more number of transactions. Not just 1 crore, it might be 10, 15, 100 crore transactions. Absolutely. Yes or no? 1,000 crore transaction. How to test that? How to check that? How to examine that? Because that is what all coming into your financial statements. That is what all comprised in your books of accounts. How to check these many transactions? If I tell you, beta, you don't need to check entire transaction. You just check 100 transactions out of this 1 crore transaction. You will be happy? Sir, much more than happy, sir. We just have to check 100 transactions. Yes, guys, you don't need to check, you don't need to examine all the 100% transactions. You just need to examine certain selected transactions out of this 1 crore. Let's say 100 transactions, let's say 500 transactions, let's say, sir, 1000 transaction maximum. You don't need to check entire. And this activity, so you don't need to check entire 100%, lower than 100%. Actually, you need to check lower than 100%. This activity is called as your sampling. And you must be able to relate this sampling word to your business activity. Let's say you are carrying on some shop of, let's say, of general store. Okay, general store. Any one agency of HUL product, let's say, of these bottles. Okay, any one person who is the dealer of this bottle in the market came to you and asked you, sir, would you be interested to sell these our bottles in your shop, keep this in your shop and sell it out to the people? How much you will need? So if you are a businessman, true businessman, what you will tell them? Sir, just give us the 10 bottles at initial level. We'll keep that for a certain period of days. So let's say we'll keep that for 2 months. We'll see how actually customers are reacting over that particular bottle. How much it is useful for the customers, how is the reaction of customer, how much they are finding it beneficial, useful. Okay, and based on that we'll give you the order. So what they tell? So sir, will you be making this 10 bottles payment of this 10 bottles immediately? Yes, I'll make you. But can you give me certain sample for it? So basically, I'll not be making you the payment of entire all the bottles. Whatever, I'll be giving you the orders. Before that, give just us these 10 sample bottles. Okay, sample bottles which we'll be keeping. Either you might give him the payment of these 10 bottles right now, or you might give him payment afterwards. That depends upon you. But what I'm saying, whatever you are keeping a limited number of bottles in your shop just for a smaller period of time, what do you call it? Sample items, right? Sample item, just to show, just to take a view, and just take a view of this particular concept understanding to your auditing. Rather than testing, rather than examining 1000 transaction, 1 crore transaction, you are just examining 1000 transactions, and based on that 1000 transaction, you are taking a view of that 1 crore. Are you guys getting? By checking 1000 transactions, you are taking a view of 1 crore transactions, whether they might be correct or not. And this is how beta you will be performing your audit, which is known as your sampling. Are you guys getting? This activity is known as sampling. So how to perform this sampling, sir? What to actually include in this particular sampling? All that things will cover in your chapter number 7, that is of your audit sampling. Okay guys, clear with this? I hope you understood. Okay, this is what we will cover in your chapter number 7, audit sampling. Now after that, sir, certain analytics we will be doing. Now I will not be able to explain this particular concept now, but very small things. You see graphical presentations, you know, in accounts or wherever you understand the businesses, reports on television, news channel, graphs. Somebody is explaining something, huge data in graphical representation. That seems to be very appropriate, sir. Very easy, quick to understand, right? Analytics. You are analyzing something. You are actually understanding something in a better way. In let's say, basically, analyzing means whatever the information is, that information you are predicting how it can be, how much it should be, how it is trending, what is the analysis based upon last 5 years or 10 years, how the revenue of the company is moving. So you are just taking a view of overall certain period, and based upon that you will be taking some decision. That is what you will be performing in audit, known as analytical procedure, that we will learn in chapter number 8. Now, how to check, how to examine your entire financial statement, how to examine revenue transaction, how to examine purchase transaction, how to examine balance sheet assets, how to examine balance sheet liability. Every damn thing we'll learn in this entire very important chapter in chapter number 9. Detailed, very important chapter, chapter number 9. After that, if you have learned in law subject, there are some laws and regulations, sir. And what are those laws and regulations? That we will learn in this chapter number 10, that is of your company audit, which is completely based on the laws and regulation from the Companies Act 2013. Okay. After that, sir, we will learn chapter number 11. Whatever we examine, we have to conclude that, sir. What is our conclusion on our examination? What is our conclusion? Whether the financial statements are proper or not. Conclusion. We need to conclude on our examination. That conclusion, wherever we will be writing, okay, presenting, that is known as your audit report in very layman language. Okay, and that is what we will learn in chapter number 11. Sir, it is very easy, sir. Why there are separate chapters? You will understand that when we will learning that. Okay. Now, sir, how to perform the examination of banks? Very important thing. So that specific thing we'll learn in chapter number 12, how to actually examine the books of accounts of banks in chapter number 12. So there will be different institution, educational school, hospital, charitable organization, non-profit organization, whatever you take. Okay. Of this every different special kind of organizations. How to perform the audit of such special kind of organization? Because there will be different activities, altogether different nature of activities in this, and that is how we will learn that in chapter number 13. And now, concluding over your entire syllabus overview, all this chapter 13 up to chapter 13, whatever we will be doing, there should be some law, there should be some regulation which should tell us how we should move ahead. What should be the minimum that we should actually perform, that we should actually examine, right? Otherwise, everybody will do in his own way, na? Right? And if somebody is lazy like you must not be the lazy. If you are watching this session as of now, you must not be the lazy, guys. And what I'm just saying is, if somebody is lazy, not like you, but what I'm saying, if he do not examine in a proper way, then he'll not be able to conclude properly. He might conclude something else only. In actual, it should be something else only, right? And that is how, beta, very important thing. There should be some law. There should be some regulations. There should be some standard. There should be some principle, right? And for those principles, there are some standards. Standard means base. Base means what you should actually take as a base. What you should consider in order to examine. Are you guys getting? And which are mandatory to be followed. Those are known as standards on auditing. Are you guys getting? Standards on auditing. Standards means principles to be followed for examining the financial information for performing audit. Standards on auditing. Standards of audit, standards on auditing. These are shortly known as SAs. Standards. Are you guys getting? And for every such damn thing, what we'll learn in chapter 1 to chapter 13, everything should have some standard, some principle, right? And that is what we will learn along with your chapters only. Okay. And some standards will not be directly related to that chapter. That is what we will learn in your last chapter, chapter number 14. Are you guys getting? Yes or no? Tell me. Perfect. Clear with this? And this is how your entire syllabus would be made up of. Now, very important thing, guys, I want to tell all of you is how we will be learning this. We will be learning this through entire notes. Okay. Our notes. I'll just give you a glimpse of our notes. This is the start of our notes, guys. You can just check it out. These are our notes. It would be like. Okay. So, in our notes will be actually, I have actually prepared these notes on the basis of ICAI study model. Completely on the basis of ICAI study model. So, don't worry about it at all that we are not covering ICAI study model. We are covering 100% your study model. Don't worry about it at all. Second thing, what is the coverage? In coverage, very first, 100% ICAI study model. Now, please understand, 100% ICAI study model. Now, please understand, audit is very vast and very big subject. We cannot complete it even if we take 4 and 5 months of classes. No, it is not possible. But we will be covering 100% that much what is relevant for your examination and what is relevant for your practical life. Okay? At max possible. So, I'll tell you that 100% study model, that is what definitely will be covering. But whatever is that much thing which is not at all related for your examination and not so related in your practical life with respect to your standards on auditing, only for standards chapters we will be definitely covering 100%. Whatever is given in your study model, we will cover that 100%. If you understand, if you have checked in your study module, they have not covered the standards on auditing in 100% detailed way. And that's why they give you, allot you some another book known as Auditing Pronouncement, which include the bare text of standards on auditing. Okay, the complete legal language, legal text. So whatever is covered in your study module in the form of standards on auditing, we will cover that 100%. Over and above, we will cover certain standards on auditing principles which are very relevant for your examination. Definitely will cover that. But which is very lower, which is very depth point, which I think that it is not at all required at intermediate level, and even that is not that much relevant for your articleship. Okay, that will not be able to cover, because if we try to cover 100% of your auditing, then it will not at all possible to complete the syllabus in 4 months. And in the entire India, nobody will cover this 100% of audit syllabus I am talking about. There are a lot of people who don't cover even 100% of study model. What I'm saying, we will cover definitely 100% of study module. Over and above, we will cover standards on auditing, and through a very important ways. I'll tell you quickly what are the things we'll be covering, how we will be covering, but nobody will be able to cover 100% syllabus because it will take more than 5 months to complete the entire syllabus. And definitely this is very much lower time, to let you understand, because auditing is like ocean. Okay, you can't stop learning in audit. You can't stop learning. Even if you work for 30, 40, 50 years in audit, still you can't stop learning. There is huge learning in audit. Okay, so please understand, this is what we'll be doing. We'll be covering through our notes. All the entire study module will be covered through our notes. In notes, we have highlighted keywords. These keywords are very important for your examination perspective, and from that perspective only we have highlighted these keywords. So now this is one of the reasons why students feel that this subject is not scoreable. Why one cannot actually score in this particular subject a very good number of marks? Because of these keywords. They don't understand, and I say expect from you to write down these keywords in your examination, and that's the reason I have actually made up these notes in such a way that you will be getting to know which are the keywords from your entire answer and which you must have to write in your examination in order to score maximum possible marks. That is how the notes have been formed. Now I have comprised your entire study module through the concise notes in such pointer formats to make it more understandable. Second thing, I'll be giving you certain charts. Now just I'll show you the charts, and those are over and above what you actually cannot think about. Nobody will be providing this, and I am claiming this. This is the entire chart of your first to fourth chapter. 4 chapters. Nobody will provide you these charts. And in entire India, you won't be actually getting this type of charts. Everybody provides charts. Almost everybody provides the charts, but their charts are nothing but exactly just a conversion of the textual format into graphical format. But this is not just conversion of textual format into graphical format. No guys, not at all. These are the handwritten charts which are just to cover entire linkage of your audit syllabus. And this is the chart of first 4 chapters, all 4 chapters. Are you guys getting? Only one chart for all 4 chapters where lot of concepts are related to each other, and that is what will make you this particular subject more understandable. Are you guys getting? This is how you will be getting it actually very depth understanding of this particular subject. This is a chart of entire 5th chapter, only 5th chapter. So now it is very possible for me to make only one chart for all your 13 subjects, subject to certain definitely concepts which are not at all related or some certain not possible. But it is not possible to make only one chart. Why? Due to some technical issues. Because if I go to make up only one chart, I actually started this 1 to 4 charts from that perspective only. Okay, that I'll be making only one chart for the entire syllabus. Okay, but it is not at all possible from the technical perspectives. But I'll make it possible if it would be. I'll not promise on that way, but I'll try to give my best actually to provide whatever maximum possible. You won't be getting this in entire India. I can challenge over this. Are you guys getting? Okay, I'll provide you these charts and we'll be revising your syllabus through these charts. Okay, so this will make you more easy to revise your entire syllabus in the best possible way. These are the concise linked charts. Why I say linked charts? Because entire your audit is linked to each other. And then I will actually give you the question and answer bank. Now sir, lot of faculties, almost every faculty provide the question and answer bank, which is nothing but the compilation of every institute material, that is your RTP, MTP, study module, everything. But this question and answer bank is way beyond that. In this question and answer bank, you will be getting the answers with the highlighted keywords of that answer, and nobody provides that highlighted keywords of the answers in entire India. I can challenge on this. Okay, so this is the only question and answer bank which will include highlighted keywords of the answers like the same way. Okay, and you will get to actually check it out all these things in our application wherever you will be finding these classes. Just if you have not purchased, definitely you will be getting a demo charts and demo question and answer bank of some chapters, okay, where you will be finding this exactly what I have told. And this is how we will make this particular syllabus very appropriately to cover entire syllabus in the best possible way, and I'll be giving you the maximum practical examples, and we will link this entire subject to make it more rememberable and very easy to remember. And third thing, we will make it more importantly from your exam perspective to score the maximum possible marks. So this is how we will cover the entire syllabus of your entire subject of auditing and assurance. I hope guys you understood the entire thing, whatever I told you. Are you guys getting whatever we discussed? I hope you understood this very appropriately. If you have any queries still, you can definitely let me know on my WhatsApp number. We'll be solving all your queries through the WhatsApp. Okay, my contact details are given in the notes. Okay, we will solve that all the queries through WhatsApp. I'll just show you that one. Okay, so you can connect to me if you want to connect for any queries. Okay, you can just check it out. Then the second thing is, this is what my WhatsApp number, 96072 75553. Here you will be getting answer of your every single query, okay, in the best possible time. Okay, as soon as possible you will be getting every answer whatever you have in your mind. And the next thing, social media platforms you will be getting for the updates regarding our classes, audio notes. I'll provide you a lot of other things as well, audio notes for the quick revision, lot of things I'll be able to provide you. I'll definitely provide you, so don't worry at all about that. Okay, and you'll be getting the classes on this Android application of Guidelearn. So you just need to download that application in Google Play Store, Android application Guidelearn. We don't have the iOS version, so you need to download the Android version only, Android app Guidelearn. Okay, Guidelearn, you can easily download that, and you'll be getting all details of the course in the course content section, and whatever the demo notes and all that things are available, that are available in the course content section of the course of that in the particular app. Okay, I hope guys you are very much clear with this everything what we have covered this introduction session. If you have any queries, you can quickly come and let me know, okay, on my WhatsApp number, and I'll definitely let you know everything whatever is possible. I think the screen was not visible when I show you. Just a minute. When I was actually showing you that these contact details, it was not visible for you. Sorry for that. You can just check it out here now. Okay. Okay, chalo guys. So let's start our syllabus from the next class. Okay, and whenever you will be having queries, you will immediately connect to me. I hope this will be the best experience of learning audit in India, and definitely I'll make it possible. And you have to make it possible along with me by studying it in the way that I will be telling you. Okay, you have to give your 100% hard work along with that smart work. We'll learn all these things in most appropriate way during the entire course tenure. Okay guys, chalo. So let's start our syllabus from the next class, and take care of yourself. Be positive, be confident, and let's meet in your next class. Take care and bye bye for the time being.